Boom! Yes folks, Hume here again. So in this video, we're going to continue the same thing that we did in the last video. In the last video, if you recall, we went down to Guyana and we interfered with the people elections. Alright, we went up into the database of figures provided by GCOM on the website, and we looked at 2015 figures, we looked at 2020 figures, we looked at certain patterns, and we discussed certain things. In this video, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to come back home to Trinidad and Tobago, and we're going to deal with the COVID situation, the corona. Alright, that is the thing that is currently occupying the thoughts and the conversation of nearly everybody. Understandably so, because it's people health we're talking about. Alright, so since this thing has started, however many weeks ago, we have been getting regular updates from the Ministry of Health in Trinidad and Tobago. The first update, if I recall correctly, would have been sometime around the March the 5th, and then we would have been getting a series of updates thereafter. So by the 12th of March, we were at update 18, and that is the day when we had the first case reported officially. And after that, on March the 14th, we were up to 2 cases. On March 16th, we were up to 4 cases. On March 17th, we were up to 5. And then sometime on March 17th again, we were up to 7. And, well, today is March the 18th. Alright? So, what I was doing, I was playing up with the figures a little bit. I said, alright, let me just see what's going on here. You know? And what I did, I put the thing on a little graph, and we draw some lines, and based on the lines that we draw, we could infer certain things. We could make certain loose projections. I don't want to use the word predictions. Prediction carries a stronger connotation of certainty than a projection. A projection, you know, a projection can be off. All right? As soon as you use the word, you know by definition that a projection could be off, you might be wrong, right? So we're not making any predictions, all right? This is not obia, right? So anybody who feel we doing obia here, no. And I'm saying that tongue-in-cheek, but, you know, don't feel we're just doing this off the top of our heads. My analysis is pretty simple, but there are more complicated ways of doing this, all right? Right, so I identified 2 variables. One variable is the number of corona cases, and the other variable is the number of days after the first reported corona cases. So in other words, on March the 12th, we had 1 case reported. March the 12th itself would be day 0. Right? March the 13th, sorry, not day 0, March the 12th will be 0, which is 0 days after March the 12th. I mean, obviously, right? March the 13th will be day 1. Sorry, not day 1, will be 1, which is 1 day after March the 12th. March the 14th will be 2, which is 2 days after March the 12th. March the 15th will be 3, which is 3 days after March the 12th, etc., etc., etc. So, based on that, we could identify certain, what I want to call coordinates now, points. I want to use some mathematical jargon, but I will try my very best to make it simple. Good? So, we identify 1 point, 0 days after March 12th, which corresponds to 1 corona case. 2 days after March 12th, 2 corona cases. 4 days after March 12th, 4 corona cases. 5 days after, 5 cases. And then on the same 5 days after, we move from 5 to 7 cases. Alright? This is what we refer to in mathematics as coordinates. If you're not mathematically inclined or you're not too knowledgeable about these things, don't worry about it. Right? Just listen to what they're saying and hear me out and see if you could understand something at the end of the video. Alright, so we put these things in our graph now, where we have on the x-axis, again, we indulge in some mathematical prose here now. The x-axis is the number of days after the first corona report, and on the y-axis, which would just simply be the number of corona reports. So this would be a vertical axis, this here would be the horizontal axis, right? And if you're not sure which one is horizontal and which one is vertical, horizontal corresponds to horizon. Think about it, right? It's a simple thing, but sometimes you're not sure which one is vertical and which one is horizontal. When you want to know, just think of the horizon. Horizon, matter done, problem solved. We move on. Alright? So, 0 days after the first reported case. In other words, on the day of the first reported case itself, we had 1 case. 1, 2. 2 days after the first reported case, we had 2 cases. 4 days after the first reported case, we have 4 cases. 5 days after, we had 5 cases. And then on the same 5 days after, we move from 5 to 7 cases. Now, the number of days after the first reported case would correspond to some particular date, right? So you have days and then you have date, right? So this here would be March the 12th, all right? This here is the actual day today, which is March the 18th. And then this here is March the 31st, which is the end of the month, all right? Of course, 31, March the 31st, March the 12th, that's a difference of 19 days. So on this mathematical axis here, 19 days after the first reported case will correspond with the 31st of March. Alright? So what I did, and here, this here is the mathematical part now that I don't want to spend too much time talking about. However, I'll leave in all the information on the whiteboard in this video and also in some pictures on the post accompanying this on Facebook. Alright, so we plot the points 0, 1, 2, 2, 4, 4, 5, 5, and 5, 7. Of course, as we get reports as the days go along, we'll have other points to plot on this graph here. Alright, and then what we will be able to do is see how the reports coming from the ministry match up with our simple little projection here. So we have 3 lines, 3 straight lines, right? I took the stress of including the equation of each line. Again, I'm not going to discuss that in this video, but I'll leave the information here so that people who are knowledgeable about it or who think they want to investigate it a little more, look everything right there. So we have the points here that we already know based on what we have from the Ministry of Health. We have this green line here, which I would call a best case scenario based on the available points. This kind of orange looking line here, which I would call a kind of neutral scenario, again, based on the available points. And then we have this red line here, which I would refer to as a worst case scenario based on the available points. Well, actually it have worse than this, we could actually join these 2 points and get a steeper line here. But I will leave that out for now. Good? So we use this to make a projection for the 31st of March. And according to the projection, we come up here and we go back across here. And we end up with 10 corona cases as the best case scenario. Then using a kind of neutral case, we come up here and we go across here. We have 19 cases. And then on this red line here, the actual figure would be 30 cases. We don't even have space for it on the board here. Alright, of course, as I was just pointed out, and now just realize this, if I do that, I could get an even steeper line. But we'll play up with that a little later, and by the time we start to play up with it, we'll have even more points to play with. So as of the 18th of March 2020, indulging in some simple, see I just touch my face? They say you're not supposed to touch your face, right? But anyway, as of the 18th of March 2020, this is what I have in my simple little thing here. This is just me putting out something so that people could get a sense of how people use maths to play up with these things. All right? Right. So now that we kind of zip through this kind of quickly, we could go into some of the more speculative aspects now. That now we kind of step into the realm of statistics, which is a different set of mathematics that we could use. Of course, we wouldn't get into that in this video here. But the first question we could ask ourselves is, okay, best case scenario, 10 cases by the end of the month. How likely is that? How probable is that? Well, we already have 7 cases as of the 18th of March. And with 12 days to go between the 12? 18, 13. 13 days? Yeah, 13. With 13 days to go between the 18th of March and the 31st of March, it is highly likely that we will only get 3 more cases in addition to the 7 that we already have. We might get 3 in one day alone. All right? So we could pretty much safely discard this green line in terms of likely outcome by the end of March. All right? Which will then take us up to the little orange line here now. According to this line, we'll have 19 cases. Now, anywhere between 10 and 19 by the 31st of March, I think would be excellent. Would be excellent in terms of the number of reported cases and how the cases are coming in and that kind of thing. Right? So between 10 and 19 is excellent. Right? Between 19 and 30, I think, would be kind of good in the sense of, okay, we never know what's going on out there, right? We try our best, we take all the precautions that we have to take. But if we get between 19 and 30 cases, right? 30, of course, being the value on this red line, then that would probably be something that we could reasonably expect. Right? Especially given the fact that we have a whole set of nationals outside yet to come in. Right? And as we know, most of the cases so far, in fact, all the cases as of today have been imported cases, referring to people coming back into the country. Nationals coming back or people passing through or whatever it is. Right? We haven't really had to deal so far with homegrown cases, but let us see how the thing proceeds as we go along. All right? So anything above 30, I think, would be cause for concern, and that we know something serious going on here now. So in other words, by the 31st of March, if we have more than 30 corona cases, then yeah, we had to be all right. So I don't know, right? And you know, some people, we like to wait until the thing gets serious before we start to get serious, right? So hopefully all the measures that we have been taking of late would suppress the spread of the number of cases. And that is the whole point, right? When you do these numbers, you get a sense of the kind of figures you're dealing with, right? So what we're going to do here, what I will do, I will monitor it like everybody else. And by March the 31st, we'll have a clear sense of where we are in terms of how the corona thing is spreading. Of course, we would then have to be, whatever the case is, if we end up between 10 and 19, that will not be a cause for complacency, right? Because these things are not things you play with, right? If we end up between 19 and 30, we could claim some level of, all right, we kind of holding it down. Let we try and keep it down even further. If we're above 30, then, I mean, we just have to redouble our efforts. We just have to redouble our efforts, all right? And it's not, It's not about buying out all the toilet paper in the grocery. Right? There are so many little things that each one of us could do to mitigate the spread of this thing. The information is coming out all the time from the local sources, and then we have information from international sources as well. So as I close this video, I want to take this opportunity again to encourage everybody to be safe, to take the necessary precautions, do whatever it is you have to do, and don't do whatever it is you don't have to do. Alright? So as always, we hope that this little talk has been of some value. It's always nice when we could relate mathematics to something that's going on in the society, something that's affecting everybody, right? Something that we could identify with. And for people who think that maths is irrelevant and I don't need maths and I'm going to be something that don't need maths, okay, fine. Maybe you're happy and content to leave this kind of discussion to people like myself who wouldn't mind playing up with the numbers. But the point I'm trying to make here is that even if you don't go into the numbers and play with it, you want as much as is possible in each individual circumstance to be in some position where if I put up a video on Facebook and I saying something, you could listen to it and say, nah, here making sense. Or you could say, yeah, that's sounding sensible. Alright? And I just want to encourage everybody, wherever you are and whoever you are, to take your mathematics seriously. Right? If you could talk to somebody and encourage them, do it. It is not always about whether you're going to be using mathematics directly in whatever field or career you choose. Sometimes understanding these things puts you in a position to understand what other people are saying. It puts you in a position to make decisions. So let me take things seriously now. Alright? So that's it for now. Take care, and as always, look out for more videos.